The Renaissance, spanning from the 14th to the 17th century, marks a period of profound cultural, artistic and intellectual revival in Europe. Emerging from the shadows of the Middle Ages, this era witnessed the flourishing of art, science and literature. Thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo pushed the boundaries of human potential and creativity. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg revolutionized the spread of knowledge. Yet amidst this renaissance of thought and innovation, the political landscape remained fraught with intrigue and ambition. Royal households were not just political entities, they were social arenas where personal relationships could influence the course of history. Monarchs and courtiers engaged in delicate dances of alliance and enmity, driven by personal desires and political strategy. The term forbidden love in the Renaissance context refers to romantic relationships that defied societal, moral or political expectations. These could be extramarital affairs, liaisons crossing class divides, or romances that risked political alliances. This tension between societal constraints and personal desire sets the stage for the fascinating tales of love and intrigue we will explore. In Renaissance Europe, the royal court was a self-contained world, a microcosm of the broader society, but with its own unique rules and dynamics. It was a place where power was concentrated and displayed, where the fates of nations could hinge on the whims of a few influential individuals. Royal courts were also theatres of spectacle and performance. Grand balls, elaborate masks, and sumptuous banquets were stages upon which political alliances were forged and personal relationships played out. In such an environment, love could not be a private affair. Every glance, every whisper, every gesture was subject to scrutiny and speculation. The stakes were particularly high for monarchs, whose personal lives were inseparable from their public roles. A king or queen's choice of consort could have far-reaching implications for their reign. For courtiers, the stakes were different, but no less significant. The court was a place of opportunity and danger, where ambition and desire could lead to both triumph and tragedy. The concept of forbidden love in Renaissance royal courts was defined by the rigid boundaries of social, moral and political norms. Marriages among the nobility were often arranged for strategic purposes, designed to consolidate power and secure alliances. Within this framework, love was frequently a secondary consideration. Forbidden romances could take many forms, such as extramarital affairs and cross-class relationships. These relationships were particularly dangerous as they threatened the established social order. The implications of forbidden love extended beyond personal scandal. Such relationships could have profound political consequences, influencing diplomatic relations and succession disputes. Despite the risks, forbidden love also offered a measure of agency and autonomy, particularly for women. Through these relationships, individuals could assert their desires and challenge societal limitations. In this sense, forbidden romances were acts of rebellion, expressions of personal agency in a world where such autonomy was rare. To fully appreciate the drama and significance of forbidden love in Renaissance royal courts, it is essential to explore specific examples from notable courts across Europe. Each court had its own unique culture and dynamics, shaped by the personalities of its rulers and the intricacies of its political context. The French court, for instance, was a hotbed of intrigue and passion, with figures like King Henri II and his mistress Diane de Poitiers captivating the imaginations of contemporaries and historians alike. Their relationship exemplifies the intertwining of personal and political motives in royal romances. In England, the reign of Henri VIII is perhaps the most infamous example of how forbidden love could shape the course of history. His tumultuous relationships with Anne Boleyn and other women had lasting repercussions on the religious and cultural landscape of England. The Italian courts, particularly those of the Medici family, provide another rich tapestry of love and power. The Medicis were known for their patronage of the arts and their ruthless political strategies. Relationships within the Medici court could alter alliances, provoke rivalries, and even incite violence. These stories offer a window into the human heart and the intricate web of power that characterized this fascinating period in history. The French court, during the Renaissance, was a bustling hub of political intrigue, cultural flourishing, and personal drama. At the heart of this vibrant court was King Henri II, whose reign was marked by significant political and military achievements, but also by a scandalous love affair. The court of Henri II was characterized by its opulence and grandeur. Amidst this splendor, the king's relationship with Diane de Poitiers, a woman 20 years his senior, stood out as both a passionate romance and a strategic alliance. Diane de Poitiers was not just a lover, she was a formidable political figure in her own right. Known for her beauty, intelligence, and influence, she wielded significant power at court. Her presence at court was a source of tension and fascination. Her influence extended beyond the personal, affecting the political landscape of France in profound ways. The French court was a microcosm of Renaissance society with its strict hierarchies and social codes. This dynamic set the stage for a complex interplay of love, power, and politics that would shape the course of French history. The love affair between Henri II and Diane de Poitiers is one of the most enduring and intriguing romances of the French Renaissance. Their relationship began when Henri was just a young prince and Diane, a widow in her 30s, became his confidant and lover. This bond, forged in the early years of Henri's life, would last until his death. Despite the considerable age difference, their relationship was marked by mutual respect and affection. Diane's influence on Henri was profound. She was not only his lover, but also his mentor and advisor. Her intellect and political acumen made her an invaluable ally. Diane's power at court was evident in many ways. She was granted numerous titles and estates, and her emblem, the crescent moon, appeared alongside the king's own symbols. Despite the official disapproval and the whispers of scandal, Diane remained a central figure in Henri's life. Their relationship, however, was not without its challenges, particularly with Henri's marriage to Catherine de Medici. Diane de Poitiers' influence over Henri II extended far beyond their private relationship. It permeated the political and cultural life of the French court. As Henri's trusted advisor, Diane had access to the highest echelons of power. Her role was multifaceted, encompassing both personal and political spheres. Diane played a key role in negotiating treaties and alliances, using her charm and intellect to advance France's interests. Her diplomatic skills were particularly evident during the Italian wars. Diane's influence also extended to matters of culture and patronage. She was a great patron of the arts, commissioning numerous works that celebrated her and Henri's relationship. The Château de Chenonceau, which Henri gave to Diane, became a symbol of her power and influence. Despite her significant role, Diane's position was always precarious. Her ability to maintain her position for so long was a remarkable achievement, demonstrating her political savvy and resilience. Catherine de Medici, Henri II's wife, faced a formidable challenge in dealing with her husband's enduring relationship with Diane de Poitiers. As queen, Catherine had to maintain her dignity and authority while contending with Diane's influence over the king. This delicate balancing act defined much of Catherine's early years at the French court. Catherine's marriage to Henri was arranged for political reasons, typical of royal unions in the Renaissance. Despite this, Catherine developed genuine feelings for Henri, making his attachment to Diane all the more painful. Catherine's position was further complicated by her initial inability to produce an heir. Diane's presence only exacerbated this vulnerability. Catherine's response was marked by a mix of pragmatism and resilience. She focused on securing her own position and the future of her children. Catherine's eventual rise to power after Henri's death marked a new chapter in her life, demonstrating her formidable political skills. Section 5, Legacy and Scandal, the long-term impact of Henri and Diane's love. The love affair between Henri II and Diane de Poitiers left an indelible mark on French history. Their relationship, while scandalous, influenced French politics and royal power. It created tension within the French court. The rivalry between Diane and Catherine de Medici fostered intrigue and competition. Culturally, their relationship inspired numerous works of art and literature. Symbols like intertwined initials and the crescent moon became iconic. Diane's influence on Henri's policies had a lasting impact on France. Their forbidden love demonstrated the profound impact personal relationships could have on history. Section 1. The English Court, a hotbed of scandal and intrigue. The English court during the Renaissance was notorious for its intrigue, scandal, and the potent mix of love and politics that defined its inner workings. Under the reign of Henri VIII, the court became a stage for some of the most dramatic and consequential love affairs in European history. These relationships not only captivated the contemporaries, but also reshaped the religious and political landscape of England. The court of Henri VIII was a place of breathtaking grandeur and intense scrutiny. Lavish feasts, jousts, and court masques were frequent and served as opportunities for the king and his courtiers to display their power and wealth. Amidst this splendor, personal relationships often became public dramas, with the king's romantic entanglements drawing the most attention. Henri VIII's court was a microcosm of the broader societal tensions and transformations of the time, particularly the shifting dynamics between the monarchy, the church, and the nobility. Henri's court was also a place where ambition and desire thrived. Courtiers vied for the king's favor, and the stakes were high. A successful match could lead to immense power and wealth, while falling out of favor could result in exile, imprisonment, or worse. The king's own pursuits of love were fraught with political implications. His marriages and affairs were not merely personal matters, but acts that could alter the course of the nation. Central to the drama of Henri VIII's reign were his 6 marriages and numerous affairs, each bringing its own blend of romance, scandal, and political maneuvering. The king's relentless quest for a male heir drove many of his decisions, leading to a series of tumultuous relationships that have fascinated historians and the public alike for centuries. These relationships were marked by passion and betrayal, with Henri's wives and mistresses often finding themselves at the mercy of his volatile affections and political ambitions. Henri VIII and Anne Boleyn, a love that changed history. Their romance led to the English Reformation. Henry sought an annulment, clashing with the Pope. He broke from the Catholic Church, creating the Church of England. Anne gave birth to Elizabeth, but was later executed. Their story shows how love can change history. Section 3. The consequences of desire, wives, mistresses, and the English Reformation. Henri VIII's numerous marriages and extramarital affairs had profound consequences, not only for the women involved, but also for the entire nation. His actions led to significant political and religious changes, most notably the English Reformation, which redefined the relationship between the monarchy and the church and set the stage for future conflicts within England. Each of Henry's 6 wives experienced the volatile nature of his affections and ambitions. Catherine of Aragon, his first wife, was cast aside after 2 decades of marriage because she could not provide a male heir. Her steadfast resistance to the annulment of their marriage made her a symbol of the old order, ultimately leading to her exile from court. Anne Boleyn's dramatic rise and fall highlighted the dangers of ambition in Henry's court. Jane Seymour, Henry's 3rd wife, succeeded where Anne had failed by giving birth to a male heir, Edward VI, but died shortly after childbirth. Anne of Cleves, Henry's 4th wife, was quickly dismissed due to her failure to win the king's favour, while Catherine Howard, his 5th wife, was executed for adultery. His final wife, Catherine Parr, managed to outlive him, providing stability in his final years. Beyond his marriages, Henry's numerous affairs also had significant repercussions. His relationship with Bessie Blount resulted in a son, Henry Fitzroy, who was acknowledged but never legitimised. Other mistresses, like Mary Boleyn, Anne's sister, played roles in the court's intricate web of alliances and rivalries. The English Reformation, initiated by Henry's desire to marry Anne Boleyn, had lasting implications. It severed England's ties with the Catholic Church, leading to the establishment of the Church of England and the dissolution of the monasteries. This religious upheaval redistributed wealth and power, strengthened the monarchy, and laid the groundwork for future religious conflicts. including the turbulent reigns of Henry's children Mary I and Elizabeth I. Section 4. The Court of Elizabeth I, Forbidden Love in the Virgin Queen's Realm. Elizabeth I, daughter of Henri VIII and Anne Boleyn, presided over a court rife with speculation and intrigue. Known as the Virgin Queen, Elizabeth never married, but her court was marked by scandalous relationships. Notable was Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, believed to be romantically involved with her. Despite their bond, Elizabeth never married Dudley, maintaining her autonomy and authority. Dudley's marriage to Amy Robsart, who died mysteriously, added to the scandal. Sir Walter Raleigh also captured Elizabeth's attention, but his secret marriage led to his fall from favour. Elizabeth's position as a single, powerful woman made her relationships particularly fraught. She used the prospect of marriage as a diplomatic tool, maintaining her independence and control. Elizabeth's ability to navigate these challenges showcased her formidable skill as a ruler. The impact of Henri VIII's romances on England. Henri VIII's marriages and the English Reformation altered the nation's religious and political structures. The establishment of the Church of England broke the monopoly of the Catholic Church. The reigns of Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I were deeply influenced by Henry's personal choices. Elizabeth's reign marked cultural flourishing and the strengthening of the English state. As Section 1, the Medici Court, a centre of art, power and forbidden love. The Medici family, rulers of Florence during the Renaissance, are renowned for their patronage of the arts and their significant influence on European politics. Their court was not only a political powerhouse but also a cultural hub, attracting artists, poets and scholars. Amidst this vibrant setting, forbidden love affairs thrived, adding layers of intrigue and complexity to the Medici legacy. The Medici court was characterized by its opulence and sophistication. The family's wealth and power allowed them to commission magnificent works of art and architecture, transforming Florence into a beacon of Renaissance culture. This environment of creativity and intellectual pursuit also provided fertile ground for romantic entanglements. The court was a place where personal desires and political ambitions often intersected, leading to affairs that could influence the course of history. One of the most compelling aspects of the Medici court was the way it balanced art and politics. The family's patronage extended to poets and writers who celebrated their achievements and romantic exploits in their works. This blending of the personal and the political was a hallmark of the Medici approach to power, with love affairs often serving as both inspiration for art and catalysts for political maneuvers. The court's atmosphere was one of cultivated elegance, where forbidden romances could be both a personal delight and a strategic tool. The Medici's influence reached far beyond Florence, impacting the broader European political landscape. Their strategic marriages and alliances were designed to consolidate power and enhance their status. However, these carefully crafted political relationships were often complicated by personal passions and forbidden loves. The tension between duty and desire was a constant undercurrent in the Medici court, shaping the decisions and destinies of its key figures. Lorenzo de' Medici and Lucrezia Donati, A Poetic Affair. Lorenzo the Magnificent was a key figure of the Italian Renaissance. His rule saw a flourishing of the arts and culture. Among his affairs, his bond with Lucrezia Donati was a poignant example of forbidden love. Lucrezia, a celebrated beauty, inspired Lorenzo's poetry. Their relationship, though discreet, was known among the elite. It exemplified the courtly love tradition, elevating the soul through intellectual and emotional bonds. Lorenzo's legacy as a patron of the arts is inseparable from his romantic life with Lucrezia. Section 3. The Scandal of Cosimo I and Eleonora di Toledo, Forbidden and Fatal. Cosimo de' Medici, the first Grand Duke of Tuscany, sought to expand the Medici family's influence. His marriage to Eleonora di Toledo was both strategic and personal. Their union was marked by intrigue and scandal. Eleonora was remarkable, bringing a dowry and political connections. Together they presented a powerful image of unity. Despite harmony, rumors of infidelity swirled. Cosimo's affair with Eleonora's lady-in-waiting created tensions. The mysterious death of Eleonora and her sons remains a topic of debate. Francesco I de' Medici and Bianca Capello. A love enveloped in mystery, Francesco I de' Medici continued the family's legacy of power and passion. His romance with Bianca Capello is one of the most mysterious and scandalous love stories in Medici history. Their affair, marked by secrecy and tragedy, exemplifies forbidden love and political intrigue. Bianca fled Venice and quickly caught Francesco's eye. Their secret affair fueled gossip and scandal. Their sudden deaths under suspicious circumstances added to the mystery. The tale of Francesco and Bianca is a poignant reminder of the perils of forbidden love. The Medici's romantic entanglements had profound political ramifications, shaping their dynasty and Renaissance Italy. Scandal and intrigue played crucial roles in their rise to power. Strategic marriages consolidated power and forged alliances. Personal passions often complicated political unions. Forbidden romances sometimes undermined but also reinforced political objectives. Lorenzo's affair with Lucrezia Donati enhanced his prestige. Mistresses like Diane de Poitiers and Bianca Capello influenced state policies. These women wielded significant power behind the scenes. Balancing personal desires with political responsibilities was key to their success. Cosimo's marriage to Eleonora di Toledo strengthened his rule. The Medici's romantic entanglements shaped their dynasty and Renaissance Italy. The tales of forbidden love that emerged from the royal courts of Renaissance Europe are more than just historical anecdotes. They represent a tapestry of human emotions and ambitions woven into the very fabric of political and social life. These love stories, fraught with scandal, intrigue, and sometimes tragedy, reveal the complex interplay between personal desires and the demands of power. The legacy of these romances is enduring. They continue to captivate historians, artists, and the public, offering a window into the lives of some of the most powerful figures in history. The forbidden loves of Henri II and Diane de Poitiers, Henri VIII and Anne Boleyn, and the various members of the Medici family are not merely relics of a bygone era, they are integral to understanding the Renaissance itself. These stories highlight the human element behind the grand historical narratives, reminding us that even the most powerful individuals were driven by the same passions and vulnerabilities that define the human experience. In examining these relationships, we gain insight into the ways in which love and power could intersect and influence each other. The actions of monarchs and courtiers driven by forbidden love often had far-reaching consequences, altering the course of history in ways both subtle and profound. The personal became political in the most dramatic fashion, with the fates of nations hanging in the balance. The forbidden love stories of the Renaissance also remind us of the timeless nature of human emotions. They resonate with contemporary audiences because they reflect universal themes: the tension between duty and desire, the allure of the unattainable, and the consequences of defying societal norms. These stories continue to inspire art, literature, and scholarship, demonstrating their lasting impact on our cultural consciousness. The social consequences of forbidden love in Renaissance courts were profound and often far-reaching. Scandal was a significant aspect of these relationships, with the potential to ruin reputations and alter the dynamics within the court. The intense scrutiny of royal and noble lives meant that any deviation from accepted norms was quickly noticed and often sensationalized. Scandal could have both immediate and long-lasting effects. In the case of Henri II and Diane de Poitiers, their relationship, though scandalous, ultimately solidified Diane's influence over the king and the court. Her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of court politics despite the disapproval of many demonstrates how forbidden love could be both a source of power and vulnerability. Similarly, the tumultuous relationships of Henri VIII not only shocked contemporary society but also reshaped the religious and political landscape of England. Reputation was another critical factor. For women in particular, the stakes were incredibly high. Diane de Poitiers, Anne Boleyn, and Bianca Capello all faced intense scrutiny and judgment. Their reputations could make or break their positions within the court. In some cases, like Anne Boleyn's, the consequences were fatal. Her execution was a stark reminder of the perilous nature of defying societal expectations. Influence was often a double-edged sword. While a royal mistress or lover could wield significant power, this influence was always precarious. The fall from favour could be swift and brutal, as seen in the cases of Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard. However, for those who managed to maintain their influence, the rewards could be substantial, as evidenced by Diane de Poitiers' enduring legacy and the cultural flourishing she helped foster. The social consequences of forbidden love in the Renaissance serve as a reminder of the delicate balance between power and vulnerability. They highlight the ways in which personal relationships could become public spectacles, with the potential to alter not only individual lives but also the broader social and political fabric of the time. Section 3. Political ramifications, the balance of power and love. Forbidden love in Renaissance courts had significant political consequences. Power and love influenced governance and stability. Relationships could alter alliances, provoke wars, and lead to cultural shifts. Diane de Poitiers' relationship with Henri II had profound political implications. Her influence extended to significant political decisions. Henri VIII's relationships led to the English Reformation. His marriages reshaped the English monarchy. The Medici court's love affairs influenced political strategies. These relationships affected diplomatic alliances and court dynamics. Personal desires shaped the destinies of nations. Art, literature, and the memory of romance. Forbidden romances of Renaissance royalty marked the cultural landscape. These relationships inspired art, literature, and music, reflecting love, power, and intrigue. Their cultural impact influenced European artistic and literary traditions for centuries. Artists and writers drew inspiration from dramatic love stories. Henri II and Diane de Poitiers inspired numerous works of art. Diane's crescent moon emblem appeared in paintings, sculptures, and architecture. These artifacts celebrated and immortalized their romance. Henri VIII and Anne Boleyn's love inspired literature and drama. Shakespeare's plays capture the Tudor court's love, power, and betrayal. Anne Boleyn's story endures in novels, films, and TV series. The Medici court's romantic entanglements enriched art and literature. Lorenzo de' Medici's love for Lucrezia Donati was immortalized in poetry. Medici art and literature blended love and power. These romances' cultural impact is a lasting legacy. They inspire and captivate, reflecting universal human themes. Art and literature celebrate their drama and offer cultural insights. Section 5. Personal consequences, the lives behind the scandals. The personal consequences of forbidden love in Renaissance courts were profound and far-reaching. These relationships brought both great joy and immense suffering. They reveal the human cost of defying societal norms and the precarious nature of power. For women like Diane de Poitiers, Anne Boleyn, and Bianca Capello, the stakes were high. Diane's relationship with Henri II brought her influence and wealth, but also envy and resentment. Anne Boleyn's rise and fall culminated in her execution. Bianca Capello's mysterious death remains a poignant reminder of the dangers faced. Men too faced consequences of forbidden love. Henri II's affair with Diane de Poitiers created tensions within his marriage. Henri VIII's pursuit of a male heir led to personal and political turmoil. Francesco Vi's relationship with Bianca Capello contributed to his downfall. Their lives were marked by a tension between public duty and private desire. Their relationships involved a balance of power, affection, and ambition. The human stories remind us of the complexity and vulnerability of those who shaped history. The personal consequences of forbidden love underscore enduring human themes. They reveal the personal dimensions of historical events. These stories offer insight into the human heart and its timeless desires and conflicts. Understanding the human element in history. The stories of forbidden love in the royal courts of Renaissance Europe offer a rich tapestry of human emotion and ambition. History is a complex web of personal relationships and individual choices. These romances reveal the people behind the historical narratives and their personal lives. Understanding the human element allows us to see past power and politics to real lives and emotions. The forbidden loves of Henri II, Henri VIII, and the Medici family shaped their identities and legacies. These relationships reveal vulnerabilities and strengths, offering a holistic view of their character. Reflecting on these stories highlights the timeless nature of human experience. Themes of love, ambition, and power are as relevant today as in the Renaissance. Forbidden romances speak to universal aspects of the human condition. They remind us of the enduring aspects of our shared history. The forbidden loves of Renaissance royalty provide a lens to explore personal and political dynamics. They offer insights into influential figures and how their relationships shaped the world. These stories deepen our understanding of the human heart and history. The legacy of these romances shows the enduring power of love and its impact on history. Examining these tales with empathy honors their humanity and timeless relevance. The forbidden loves of the Renaissance courts offer lessons and reflections that resonate across the ages.